In fact, I had this idea, given our theater seating and given this incredible painting, that we should just sit here and watch the movie because it really unfolds, and I think that says a lot about Lewis's enrolling of time into our experience, and maybe in this painting more than any other very, very unusual transitional painting. There's nothing else like it. He comes to Silver Spring and then to Washington in the late 40s, and he remains in Washington for the rest of his life, living from 1952 on Legation Street here in Northwest Washington, and famously painting in the dining room studio, which was 14 feet by 12 feet and 2 inches. And this painting I just walked off. I happen to have a size 10 shoe, and I know this painting is 12 feet. So you can imagine from this painting the size of the studio that he worked in. So we know the size of the room in which he made it. And I always go to the question of how it was made. When there's a mystery, and this is totally mysterious, what is happening here? How did he do it in that size room? Well, nobody knows for sure, and if anyone tells you they know, they're lying, because nobody saw him paint, right? Not even his wife. One thing we know that he did was he didn't paint these on the wall. He didn't paint them stretched. They were partly stretched. He took pieces of wood and stapled the canvas to those pieces of wood, and then poured the paint onto the canvas at some kind of angle, not vertical, not horizontal, so that he could then control these flows with these pieces of wood stapled to this semi-stretched canvas in a kind of incredible, what must have been an incredible ballet taking place in this tiny room. What's so remarkable about this is the paint seems to be moving in a lot of different ways, a lot of different directions. There's an awful lot of thinning of the paint, and possibly, I don't know, this is a debate, but possibly some dragging of the paint with a tool. In general, he relied on pure pouring. And the name Seal, all of the titles are not to be taken, as with a lot of modern art, not to be taken too seriously. Clement Greenberg would send him lots of suggestions for titles. He'd write to Clement and say, I've got a lot of paintings, I need titles. And he would send a list, you know, and he'd say, for this series, let's go with you know, 2-word titles. And then the next series, we'll do something a little different. So Seal, I suppose, inspired by, you know, some of the colors and the feeling of water, perhaps. But titles are convenient for many reasons. It's much better than, you know, 1-387B with Clifford Still or whatever. So it's good that we have them, but I don't think we need to think Seal. This is not a figurative painting in any sense of the word.